Hello! Did it ever happen that when you check your bank account, you couldn't understand where your money is gone? You take a look at your salary, it's good, let's say it's good, some kind of amount, and once you look at your bank account at the end of a month or year or something else, you see that there is nothing else, nothing left. And you can't understand where those money is gone. I mean, you have money, money is gone. Did it ever happen to you? Well, for me, it was. It happened. It happens from time to time. And there is one thing that you can do, at least to know where your money is gone. It's to check on your bank balance account. So, first thing, what you have to do is to download your bank balance for some kind of period, time. It can be 1 year, it can be 1 month, it doesn't really matter. Just choose the period you'd like to work. I will not show that procedure now. I have a file already downloaded because each bank has a different interface, but usually when you go and select the time frame you want to download the file, usually there is a format you want to get it. There's like on screen PDF usually and CSV file. CSV it's like Excel file, and you should choose that option, download the file on your computer, and then we can start working on it. So first thing, please download the file and let's continue. I have the file already downloaded here. It's a CSV file, and as you can see there's only one sheet. In CSV file there can be only one sheet because it's like a very simple Excel format file. It's not Excel, it's more simple. You don't have any graphics, no bold, no any formatting, anything. Just the raw data. If you have a newer version of Excel, it will automatically make columns from your data. If you have the older version, you might see one line with many semicolons or some other symbols between, and it might look different. In that case, if you have something like that, you can very easily replace those symbols to something like that. So you have to go to data and then press on text to columns, because usually it's like one line. Actually, we can show it this one really quickly. Let's make some space. Insert. Yes. Text to columns. Here is our, we can select the format. Here is our data. Now we don't want the fixed. We are gonna select delimited. Next. You can select semicolon no, comma no, other yes, and it's a dot. And as you can see, it changes to different columns. There are some more options, but they are not necessary now. You can press finish, and as it thinks this is a date, it changes to the date. But if we press right mouse button, press format, and select that this is not a date, this is a number, we get the number. So basically, this way, if you have a CSV file and you don't see the columns, this way you can easily change it to more manageable Excel format, but it will still stay as CSV file. Okay, let's go back now. We don't want this change. Let's leave it like it was. So before importing our data, we want to delete the first line because it's like a title of a file. And if there is one in your file, please remove it, because we don't need it. We need column names and the data itself. I have data from 2018 and it's not my primary bank account, and some details like numbers are randomized here, so we are gonna use this data and see how it might looked over one period of year. So once you have the data, you have to use some kind of tool to visualize visualize your data. We are going to use Power BI Desktop because it's a free version for individual use, personal use, and for now, for 2020, it's free. Let's open the application. I already have it here. You can download the application from Microsoft website. Just type download Power BI Desktop and you'll get a link in the Google. Let's upload our data. As I mentioned before, we have a CSV file. So Excel and CSV is slightly different formats. So, well, if you press Excel file, it will show you only Excel file. So we don't want that. Let's press on Get Data button in here, and not the Excel, but text or CSV file. Let's select this one. Let's go where we saved it, and let's double click on the file. And now we can see the same data. Oh, looks like we didn't save the data. You have to remove the first line. Apparently we have removed it, but it was not saved. And here you go. Now it understands that the first column is the title and the next columns are some kind of the data. To make sure that everything is fine, we can press on Transform Data button. So this is the date, that's correct. Text, this is a sum. These are the numbers, yes, that's correct. Text, numbers. So this file is quite easily understandable because there are only 2 columns for the digits, numbers, and Power BI was able to understand them very easily. Close and apply, and the data will be loaded in a moment. Now, once we have our data loaded up, we can see the detailed information on the right side, like what columns were loaded. Let's start digging through our data. Let's see where most of the money was spent. Let's take a pie chart and let's take sum. Where is our sum? Here it is. Oh, but we need to make the categories for it. So if we look at our data, the column is called name. Let's get back and let's select name as well. Here we go, nice and clear. But as you can see, everything is here. Your credit, your debit, and everything else. We want to have more details, won't we? Let's dive deeper and let's try to separate the money that were received to the account and the money that were spent. Let's take a look at our data file again, and there is a column called debit credit. So we have letter D for debit and letter C for credit. Let's make a filter. Press on slicer, press on debit or credit. We don't need it so big. We have a slicer in here. And now we can choose. If you press on credit, that means these are the money we have received. And you can see very clearly that most money came from Airbnb. This is the account I was using to rent my Airbnb and receive the money. You can select more about how I prepared the file and expenses and everything else in my YouTube channel if you're interested, but in here this is a bank statement, so here are the percentage value of what I get and where I spend the money. Of course, like I said before, some data is changed, so that's not very accurate. If you press debit, we can see the expenses where we have spent our money. As you can see, we have quite a lot of, and some of it is not so informative. Let's take a look at our data file again. So what do we have? Here is the name. We have an account, so we don't need account. Bank name. It might be useful. Swift code, no, we don't need it. Purpose. Yes, this is what we might want to see in our analysis as well. So let's try to add that information as well. Let's add it as a table so we could see the raw data. Select table, the name is purpose. So let's find that column, and here we go. We have the purpose where the money came from. And now once we select some kind of piece or name on our chart, we can see the purpose. To make it more informative, we can add the same sum or amount on the table again. Let's select the table and let's add sum as well. And now once you select on the amount where you have spent it, you can see where it actually went. Let's select the other one. So this is the easy way to very quickly get the quick analysis of your data, where you have where did you spend your money, and maybe where did you receive them from, if you have like a different source of income, which is very good actually to have a different source of income. So you can do it very easily. However, we can tune it a little bit more, because, well, if we edit our raw data and add more categories, we can see the data, what we have here, more clearly. To do this, we'll have to do some manual work, and it might take more time to categorize everything you got or everything you spend. But let's do it, because we are very interested. Like here are many categories, many purposes where it was spent, but we want to see more details. So let's get back to our data. We have names in here and many other things, and purpose. Let's keep this as the main things. First thing, what we want to do, we want to hide the columns we don't need now. So we don't need a currency, we have only one, so let's just hide it. Sum, yes, let's leave it. Code, yes, let's leave it, might be useful. Actually, before hiding our columns, let's make this data more easily readable on the Excel file, and let's transform it to the table. It's also very easy. Home, and just select some kind of table. My table has headers, yes, that's correct. Okay. Code, let's see what codes. Not so many, not so useful. You can hide it. Bank name, that's for sure. Let's hide it. Swift code as well. Date, yes, thank you. Bank account, no, we don't need any bank accounts. And local currency, usually it's the same, so let's just hide it. Now, once we have the columns we need, let's see what categories we can make and how we can make them easy. So, as we are interested in our expenses, let's apply the filter and let's make only debit visible. So we'll have less columns. So let's create a new column. Let's call it category. This one, for example, the one that took the biggest amount in our chart. We can take a look again. Yes, this was for the loan. I can see it's written here. And these are the taxes for the loan I took for that apartment. So we can actually leave it as it is, and we can see quite many small names in here. And these are the names of the shops. We don't want to type the names of the shops or anything like that. Let's apply the filter and let's press like, this is the name of the shop. Yes, that's correct. Let's say this is the name of the shop as well. So once we have the names of a shop, we can call shopping for the category, type the name, press Ctrl C, and select the parts and Ctrl V. Don't drag it like this, because other columns might be filled as well. So now if we deselect that category, we'll see shopping only where our maximum was. But if you select it and drag and drop like that, the entries might appear on other lines, and we don't want. So once we have our categories in our Excel file, we want to appear them on PowerBI file. Let's go to our PowerBI file. Of course, we don't want to upload new file. We want that current file would have one more extra column we just created on our file. Don't forget to save your file. Let's go to Transform Data menu option. We have our data source. Let's press on Advanced Editor. Don't worry, I know some people are allergic to the code, but this is really simple. Really simple. Trust me, just 2 changes. You can handle it. You can handle it, don't worry. First change, we have more columns in our Excel file we want to load. So let's change it to 19. And now here are the lists of the columns. Let's go to the end, and we can see the last column is account currency. Yes, this was the last column. Now let's select, I would recommend you to start from here because this is the end of the other column and this is comma. So select comma, press Shift on your keyboard, go to the end of the last column, Ctrl C on your keyboard, and now in here Ctrl V. We have, you can see, space, column, space, and then there is the name. Of course, the last column has a different name, so to make sure everything is fine, let's go to category, copy the name, paste the name, and press done. And now if we go here, we can see our category column is here. Like I said, just 2 changes. It's really easy, don't worry, you can do it. And close and apply, and we can see the category in the fields. Let's make this smaller. We can make it different, like this. Category, sum, and we can see the new categories. And now you can more easily see where did your money go from your bank account. We can see the biggest one is loan. If we select it here, we'll immediately see that yes, this is the part and these are purposes. We have made the category for. That's good. Let's remove it. Now the second one is taxes. If you select them here, we can see these 2. And in here are some more. Now next we can see there are no category, and it actually takes quite a big amount, I would say 20%. And we can see many things in here where we did not have a category. That's quite a big portion of our chart. You can see here was some kind of trip, so let's make a category for it. Let's go to the Excel file real quickly. As we saved the file, the formatting is gone. Let's make it again real quickly. Let's find the purpose column in here. Let's extend it. So again, how it's called. Yes, let's type. This is some kind of trip expenses, and let's call it holidays. Now let's reload the data and see if we have more, less unknown categories. So press on refresh button, it's loading, and now we can see that this is a smaller one. And you can see those 2 is gone. And we can see that category with unknown, that, well, the no category part in our chart is much smaller now. This way you can easily see where did you spend all your money. You can make the categories for this one as long as you want, for all the entries or only some entries, or until there is nothing left. And in here, for example, you can see the biggest amount. So if you add the category for these biggest amounts, this will shrink, and then you can see more categories and more exact view where did you spend all your money. So I selected this one as a filter, and I can see that it's all these, the smallest ones. But basically all of this is categorized, and we can see it quite easily that loan, taxes, insurance was the biggest part of my expenses. You can select it. Yep, this is for shopping. It was 10%, 9, 10%, almost 10%. So this way you can easily see where did you spend all your money. Actually, you can do the same for the income if you have a couple source, not just a salary, and analyze and maybe change something if it's not okay for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you like it, please like it. If you don't, dislike it. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel, and I have a Patreon, so if you want to support me, please go there and check what other perks you can get, like for example the Excel file and this PowerBI file will be available for my patrons. So if you want to have it, you can get it there. So thank you for watching and see you next time. So we can see the program is quite stupid and does not understand that we are uploading the same file. I have to stop now and search how to do this. It makes me crazy. This program makes me crazy. Once we have no, let's stop and let's repeat.